Welcome to Math Archives. In this video, let me discuss an example in n jobs and 2 machines and a sequencing problem. In the previous video, we have discussed the same concept with an example. The difference is that if we schedule jobs, then there is no time there. There exists no tie between the jobs, then how to find an optimal sequence? That is what we have discussed in the previous video. In this video, we are going to discuss if there exists tie between jobs. If there is a tie between jobs, then how to resolve that and find the total elapsed time. That is what we are going to discuss now. I give the link in the description box. You go and refer that for your clear understanding. Now let me move on to an example. We have 7 jobs, each of which has to go through the 2 machine M1 and M2 in the order M1, M2. That is, each job has to first enter into machine M1 and then enter into M2, then only we get the output. That is, for each input, the given job has to first enter into M1 and complete its processing time and enter into the machine M2 and complete its processing time, means then only we get the output. So the order we have to follow here is M1. The job has to first enter into machine M1 and then move on to machine M2 and then we get finally the output. The processing time, that is in terms of hours, are given as follows. Determine a sequence of this job that will minimize the total elapsed time. So the elapsed time, which means that is the time interval between starting the first job to finishing the last job, including the idle time if any. So idle time in the sense that it is the time for which the machine doesn't have any job to process. It is a time for which the machine doesn't have any job to process, is nothing but the idle time of the machine. So the elapsed time is the time interval between the starting time to finishing time, including the idle time. Here, jobs and machines are given. There are 2 machines M1 and M2 and there are 7 jobs are given here. Now, I am just explaining the meaning of jobs, machine 1, machine 2. That is, what is the processing time required for each job on machine M1 and M2 clearly. Job 1 here needs 3 hours of processing time on M1 and 8 hours of processing time on M2. Job 2 needs 12 hours of processing time of N1 and 10 hours on M2. Job 3 needs 15 hours on M1 and 10 hours on M2. Job 4 needs 6 hours processing time on M1 and 6 hours on M2. Likewise, job 5 needs 10 hours on M1 and 12 hours on M2. 6 needs 11 hours on M1 and 1 hour on M2. 7 needs 9 hours on M1 and 3 hours processing time on M2. Now, what we are going to do here is, we are going to find an optimal sequence. Here, an optimal sequence is represented as number of cells in a row. Here we have 7 jobs, so we have 7 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 cells. So here we are going to use the Johnson's algorithm. First you have to find out the minimum processing times among these values. Here the minimum processing time is job 1 hour. The minimum processing time here is 1 hour. This corresponds to job 6 on machine M2. So the minimum processing time is 1 hour. This corresponds to job 6 on machine M2. If this value falls on machine M2, you have to place the job last in the sequence. That is, you have to place job 6 last in the sequence. The next minimum processing time is here, for example, 3. So this corresponds to 2 jobs, that is job 1 on machine M1. If it fall, next one is job 7 on machine M2. So this value if this value falls in the first machine, means you have to place it first in the sequence. So you have to place job 1 first in the sequence. So if the value falls on the second machine, you have to place that job last in the sequence. If it falls on machine M1, you have to place it first in the sequence, because we have followed the order M1, M2. So this is what the procedure we have to follow for creating the optimal sequence. Now the minimum processing time is 1 hour. This corresponds to job 6 on machine M2. This is the second machine, isn't it? So this corresponds to job 6 on machine M2. So here the minimum processing time is 1 hour, which corresponds to job 6 on machine M2. So we have to place job 6 in the last in the sequence. So we have to place job 6 in the last in the sequence. So since it falls on this minimum processing time value falls on machine M2, we have to place it in the last. If this minimum value falls in machine M1, we have to place it in the first of the sequence. After this, you have to delete this job for further consideration. The next minimum processing time is 3 hours. So this corresponds to 2 jobs, that is job 1 on machine M1 and job 7 on machine M2. So job 1, that is the minimum processing time value, falls on job 1 on machine M1. So you have to place job 1 first in the sequence, since it falls on machine M1. After this, you delete. Next, here itself we have the same minimum processing time, that is of 3 hours. So this corresponds to job 7 on machine M2. So you have to place job 7 in the last, that is next to last in the sequence. Now you delete this job. Now next minimum processing time is 6 hours. Here there is a tie between the same job. So either we have to place job 4 next to first or next to last, because the 6 hours of processing time on job 4 falls on machine M1 and also on M2. So there is a tie between the same jobs. So how to resolve this is, either you have to place job 4 here or here. That is your option. So arbitrarily I have to choose this place for job 4. So job 4 has to process next to first. The next minimum processing time is 10 hours. Here there is 3 values. That is, here this value, that is the minimum processing time 10 hours, falls on job 5 on machine M1 and also job 2 on machine M2 and job 3 on machine M2. So here itself there is a type. So first we have to place, since we are having only one value on machine M1, for 10 hours of processing time, I have to place job 5 in the third cell. And you delete this. Here there is a tie between these two. Now I have to place job 2 next in last like this and 3 in the fourth cell. So I have arbitrarily choose this. Or either you have to place job 3 here or job 2 here. That is your option. So now we have formed the optimal sequence for the given problem. So the optimal sequence is 1 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 7 and 3 to 2, 2 to 7 and 7 to 6. So this is what the order we have to follow to complete all the jobs with minimum elapsed time. So now we have to calculate the elapsed time corresponding to the optimal sequence, that is what we have formed just now, using the individual processing times given in the problem. For that, let me now construct a table. Whereas the first column consists of the optimal sequence, that is the order for which we are going to process all the jobs, that is 1, 4, 5, 3, 2, 7, 6. That is what the order we have formed just now, that is 1, 4, 5, 3, 2, 7, 6. So write down this value in the first column. Then the second and third column consists of machine M1 and M2's time in and time out processing times, and the last column consists of the idle time for machine M2. Now let me start with machine M1 first. Let me start with job 1. Here both the machines M1 and M2 start at 0 hour, and machine M1 also start at 0 hour. So the initial time of both the machine is 0 hour. So at 0 hour, job 1 enter into machine M1, and job 1 needs 3 hours of processing time, that is 0 plus 3, that is equal to 3. So it needs 3 hours of processing time on M1. First we have to complete the processing times on machine M1 and then we move on to machine M2. Then the out time, the time out of first job is the in time of the second job. So job 4 here has to wait till job 4 has completed its processing time on M1. So this time out of job 1 is the in time of job 4. So job 4 enter into machine M1 at 3 hours. And job 4 needs 6 hours of processing time on M1. So 3 plus 6, which equals 9 hours. So job 4 has completed its processing time at 9 hours. So the time out of job 4 is the in time of job 5. Job 5 enter into machine M1 at 9 hours and it needs a processing time on M1 as 10 hours. So 9 plus 10, which equals 19. And this time out of job 5 is the in time of job 3, that is 19 hours is the in time of job 3, and it needs a processing time on M1 as 15 hours. So 19 plus 15, that is equal to 34. So at 34 hours it has completed its processing time on M1, and this time out of job 3 is the in time of job 2. So job 2 enter into machine M1 at 34 hours and it needs a processing time on M1 12 hours. So 34 plus 12, that is 46. Job 2 has completed its processing time on M1 at 46 hours. This time out is the in time of job 7. That is at 46 hours job 7 enter into machine M1 and it needs a processing time of 9 hours. So 46 plus 9 which is equals 55. So job 7 has completed its processing time on M1 at 55 hours. So that is the end time of job 6. So job 6 entered into machine M1 at 55 hours and it needs a processing time 11 hours. So 55 plus 11, that equals 66 hours. Next we move on to machine M2. Since both the machines start at 0 time, but initially at 0 time machine M2 doesn't have any job to process. So it has to wait for a job to process. So at 3 hours only it has a job, because job 1 has completed its processing time at 3 hours on machine M1 and enter into machine M2 at 3 hours. And it needs a processing time of 8 hours on M2. So 3 plus 8 which equals 11 hours. So machine M2 has completed its processing time on job 1 at 11 hours. Here job 4 has completed its processing time at 9 hours, but it couldn't enter into machine M2 directly for processing, because at 9 hours it has some jobs to process. That is, the previous job has completed its processing time at 11 hours only. So this job has to wait in a queue till the machine M2 is free. Now at 11 hours the machine becomes free. So job 4 entered into machine M2 at 11 hours and it needs a processing time of 6 hours on machine M2. So 11 plus 6, 17 hours. So at 17 hours machine M2 has completed its processing time on, that is job 4 has completed its processing time at 17 hours, but at 17 hours it doesn't have any job to process, because job 5 has completed its processing time at 19 hours on machine M1. So till that it has to wait for the job, that is, it has to wait for 2 hours to get a job. So at 19 hours only job 5 entered into machine M2 and it needs a processing time of 12 hours. So 19 plus 12 which equals 31 hours. So at 31 hours it has completed its processing time. That is, job 5 has completed its processing time on M2 at 31 hours, but at 31 hours it doesn't have any job to process, because at 34 hours alone job 5 has completed its processing time on M1. So it has to wait for 3 hours to get a job. So at 34 hours job 3 entered into machine M2 and it needs a processing time of 10 hours on machine M2. So 34 plus 10, that is 44 hours. At 44 hours job 3 has completed its processing time on M2, but at 44 hours the machine M2 doesn't have any job to process, because job 2 has to complete its processing time at 46 hours only. So again it has to wait for 2 hours till to get the job. So at 46 hours only job 2 entered into machine M2 and it needs a processing time of 10 hours. So 46 plus 10 which equals 56 hours. At 56 hours it has completed its processing time. That is, job 2 has completed its processing time, but job 7 here has completed its processing time at 55 hours, but it couldn't enter into machine M2 because at 55 hours the job 2 is processing on M2. So it has to wait in a queue. So at 56 hours the machine becomes free. So job 7 enter into machine M2 at 56 hours only, and it needs a processing time of 3 hours. So 56 plus 3, 59 hours. So at 59 hours the machine becomes free, but at 59 hours machine M2 doesn't have any job to process because at 66 hours only job 6 has completed its processing time on M1, so it has to wait. So at 66 hours only job 6 enter into machine M2 and it needs a processing time of 1 hour on machine M2. So 66 plus 1, 67 hours. This 67 hours is the minimum total elapsed time for completing the first job to the last job. So 67 hours, the total elapsed time is 67 hours. Now we have to calculate the ideal time for both the machines M1 and M2. Let me start with the ideal time for M2 first. Since both the machines start at 0 time, but till 3 hours machine M2 doesn't have any job to process, so initially it has to wait for 3 hours to get a job. So that is the ideal time. Then at 11 hour it has completed its processing time, so immediately it get a job at 11 hours. So there is no ideal time here. At 17 hours it has completed its processing time, so but it has to get a job at 19 hours only, so it has to wait here for 2 hours to get a job. So that is the ideal time. 31 hours it has completed its processing time, but it has to wait for 34 hours to get a job. Here itself it has to wait for 3 hours to get a job. So that is the ideal time. At 44 hours it has completed its processing time, but it has to wait for 46 hours. So it has to wait for 2 more hours to get a job. So that is the ideal time. Next, at 56 hours it has completed its processing time. Immediately it get a job at 56 hours. So here there is no ideal time. At 59 hours it has completed its processing time, but at 66 hours only it get a job to process. So totally here it has to wait for 7 hours here. So now at 67 hours job, the processing time for all job has to complete. So this is the ideal time for machine M2. That is, adding all these values we get 3, 5, 10, 17 hours. So the ideal time for machine M2 is 17 hours. Next we calculate the ideal time for machine M1. Machine M1 started 0 hour, so it has completed processing time on first job at 3 hours. After completing the first processing on, that is after completing its processing time for job 1, immediately it gets the job at 3 hours. Then after completing next job at 9 hours, immediately it has next job to process. Then after completing here at 19 hours, again it has next job to process. At 34 hours it has completed its processing, so again it gets job at 34 hours. 46 hours it has completed its processing time, means immediately it get a job at 46 hours. At 55 hours it has completed its processing time, immediately it get a job at 56 hours. It has completed its processing time at 66 hours, but the totally both the machines start at 0 time and has finished in the same time, finished at the same time, because even though machine M1 has completed all jobs at 66 hours, it has to wait for machine M2 to complete all the jobs. So it has completed job 6, that is, it has completed all the jobs at 66 hours, even though it has to wait for machine M2 to process all the jobs. So here the ideal time is 67 hours only machine M2 has completed, that is, has completed its processing time on all jobs. So here the difference is 1 hour, 67, 60. So this machine idle time is only 1 hour. So the idle time for machine M1 is 1 hour, and both the machines, that is, idle time for both the machines M1 and M2 is 17 plus 1, 18 hours. So the total elapsed time for the given problem is 67 hours, and idle time for machine M2 is 17 hours, and for M1 is 1 hour, and the total idle time for both the machines is 18 hours. Hope you got a clear idea about n jobs and 2 machines problem. If we are scheduling the jobs, if there is a time and you get a clear idea about how to resolve the time and to get an optimal sequence and how to calculate the total elapsed time and idle time for machines. Thanks for watching. See you again in my next video.